have this for as long as the rare birds. You need to know their weight, especially the layers and the broiler farmers. I'm not going to speak for the rest of the farmers. So you need to have a lighting program. Check on your light, check on your feeds, the stocking density. Dr. Kawe has talked about stocking density. I do not want to repeat anything there. Environmental conditions such as temperature and humidity should be checked. Water quality, the water should always be clean. Okay? Water should always be clean. Check your ventilation, we'll look at that. So when we're looking at bringing a bird now, the actual brooding, what we call brooding proper, we make sure that we are clean and disinfected. But before cleaning and disinfection, after cleaning and disinfection, there's what we call downtime. Downtime. Downtime is defined as the time period between the stock out and stock in. Engo kasita ziva kufa. Why not quit out banga chinatona restocking our okay? That is what we call downtime. Because in layers it is supposed to be at least 2 months. Are we together? 2 months zina quit out, they have to elapse before. This is different for broilers. Broilers, it is usually 15 days or 2 weeks. Then you bring another stock. And surprisingly, farmers don't actually know what downtime is. You teach these things, and they actually, at the end of the day, they go ahead and do what? Their own things. Or some omuntu nga yabuukiza enkoko mu SR. Naye nga ku Monday, enkoko alina zifuna ku Thursday. Ne kaliibwe oba obukuta oba previous batch zikyali mu kiyumba. Do you know what that is? That exposes you to the diseases that have been disturbed in the previous batch. They will continuously disturb you in the next batch. So, ebiseera ebisinga omuntu nga abaddeko ne kumbolo ku faamu nga yakubwako kumbolo ku faamu ye, kumbolo eyo yeeyongera okumukola ki? Okukuba paka. Ate abalunzi naddala bakulira baba tebaagala kuwumula faamu because bamanyi bafiirwa ki? Business. But it is better no fewer business say because you're not even given in hard cash, what will adjust your wood day? It's better for you to feed your wood day and then you don't lose actual money. Are we together? So it is better if we follow that downtime there. Downtime, our layer, miezi 2 months before you bring back to the farm, especially if you had a disease on the farm. Gumboro is a residential virus. Gumboro virus is a residential virus. So it's okay, for a very, very long time. And then disinfect as much as possible. If you are being hit by gumboro, make sure that even fumigation is done. Someone talked about potassium permanganate and formaldehyde yesterday. About the presentation here yesterday during some discussion. So you mix formaldehyde with potassium permanganate. You take a corner, we corner you close the entire thing. Before, how together? Make me sure I can meditate because the moment you don't plan, those are things that start. It means you do not plan. You are literally begging. You're not supposed to beg as a farmer. You're supposed to stand aside and stand. The problem with Ugandans, they think farming is deteriorates your rank. Engineer. As long as a farmer, the engineering bit of your profession does not die, it still remains with you. So farming is a big thing. So to make sure that at least 2 heating a chiyunga, preheating. Because 24 hours before bringing those birds. Make sure that there is heat in that house. So that the floor is always warmed up. The floor is a point of heat loss for our birds. So we make sure that we do not lose heat through the floor. That is the reason for preheating. So this is it. This is an illustration of the importance of preheating. We make sure that at least we have the heat distributed before so just put in heat today. Let the room heat up. At least and then tomorrow the birds come in and they are in a comfortable zone. The problem is you know, Mama Becky, she's going to do that. Which is not acceptable. All that smoke is going to gather and make the room not welcoming for our chicks. That is why we already suffer with chronic flu time and again. So, when it catches properly, it doesn't so what I'm doing, it will have to do something. Those are the temperatures we need for our bird. When our bird is arriving, it is usually about those degrees. And temperature. But in the first 5 days of its life, it is usually cold-blooded. It is not having the ability to control its own temperature. So to make sure that at least we always have the houses heat up. Then the other thing is if you heat up the room, make sure that this is the box here. So really in those boxes. So making sure that there is a lot of people available to spread out the chicks to get them out of the boxes as much as possible. Then the other thing you can look at that is temperature. So from your temperature source, your heat source, this is how everything is supposed to look like. When you see your birds having themselves around the heat source, the heat is not enough for your birds. Then when you see them far away from the heat source, you make your room is too what? It's too hot. And this is because most farmers do not have thermometers. But temperature, and that is where you put your money. Because and for you, you've left them there. That is the entire ideology. There is too much spending all which is unfair, right? It's unfair to your own money. It's unfair against all. So that is it means that the heat is only on one side. So the ideal is the heat is supposed to be spread throughout the room. Okay? It's supposed to be spread throughout the room. So broilers, you need about 34 degrees Celsius. Because those the metabolism is very high as compared to the layer counterparts. The layers, those that are some a little bit more, it's about 35-36 degrees Celsius for the layers. For the broilers, about 34. Pretty better. Humidity is a big challenge, not to most of our farmers here because open farms is more of an easy problem. Okay? So humidity, too low humidity, it means is less water vapor in that area. It is related to temperature. If the temperature is too high, there is less of humidity. And that is the required humidity in your house, 55 to about 60 is the humidity needed. You may not be very much conversant with it. It may not be a very big challenge to you as compared to what temperature is. Okay? So, guys, let's keep the questions for that. Because I have other people, other presenters, please. If we keep asking questions, then we shall always delay up. So just write your questions down, then we just move on as a presentation. Ventilation. So ventilation is Dr. Hani, if you are enjoy presenting the housing. Northeast, then we say opening, right? So if we have that, then we do not expect a lot of carbon dioxide in that environment, our housing. We do not expect a lot of ammonia accumulating. Okay? It means that we do not expect ammonia since the opening is allowing air to flow out. Dr. Rogers Nabagamba, 9 meters for the window. With the China Quera, and the Chisuka meters make up. 9 meters for the window of the house, that the air that has come in can always pass through and get out. So it leaves the litter as dry as much as we want. Are we together? So we don't expect dust in the house then. Carbon monoxide, of course, that is coming from the burning charcoal, the flavor of brood, which is usually a problem too. But most of the birds suffocate people. Carbon monoxide. Water supply. Water supply is a problem because you say that it's in the I don't know why. I don't know if the water is too cheap or it is usually very much available as compared to what the feeds are. If you say everything up, business here yeah. We don't go over that drinker, we don't go over that the feeders. We don't make sure that it's always in it. So we make sure that the drinkers are available. Do you know when those drinkers, those drinking nipple lines, you know making sure that this day a drop of water to drink a line. There should be a drop of such that pressure is okay? Pressure is usually necessary for those who are using such drinkers. And then for those of us who are using these normal drinkers, we need to make sure that water is usually readily available and it is at the cheek's eye level. So the first 2-3 days, the drinker, all those nipple lines are supposed to be at eye level. Okay? Such that the birds can see. Why they are red? Because birds see more of yellow and red. They are more attracted to those bright colors. So the first 3 days, first 2-3 days, bring a better eye level. Okay? Then after that, we can always put the drinker or feeder back to the back level of the chicken. Okay? The back level. We don't want to pre level. After that is after the first 3 days. So we need to make sure that the cups, the cups all are made, the cup here ready, they don't want to there should be water in there so the birds can be able to drink. Access of feeds, Dr. Kawe has talked about pre-starter. Those are the size of our pre-starter and starter. Feed should be as much palatable, easily taken in because these are young chicks. They should be able to consume the feeds. So after a period of 24 hours, tuba tukusuubira okubanga olisiza enkoko zo and enkoko zikoze eki ziriddemu ki mmere, at least the birds have taken what? Taken feed. So you touch the growth. Okwata kukasatule nokola ki nofiingamu nolaba nga ki mmere bweri. Wherever soft, it means that bird has barely taken feedback more of water. That is why tuwagamba glucose has to be in water. Okay? Such that this will occur in our mind. Then when it is full of course of water, so our lighting program for the first 1 week, that is used or take a lecture for 4 hours or 5 hours, no jump for 1 hour throughout the day. Not very feasible because they said everything has to be done in open houses, like the cigarette quality. But what we need to do, we can always use 20. So in focus of the for 22 to 23 hours. What they go, where is it to Kakusa car? Okay? So this is Kumacha, Saw game, make a short by Saw Namusans, and jacket for at least an hour or two. Such that the ball is so long that they just insist in the way of your womb. And then you are also synchronizing them too, such that the ball change, all the birds are doing what? The same thing. If it's time for feed, let them all do what? Feed. And then when it's time to rest, let all of them do what? Rest. Because triggers quite are getting quite from mass, especially during the late order production period. So light intensity, not a common thing for us to measure. Light intensity, for those with sophisticated equipment, but for the normal open houses, it's not a very big thing to us. But there is a but. We can always make sure that it's light and uniform. So our houses are supposed to have uniform light, like you can see on the board here. You can realize that the other side, that dark spots, and not all the equipment are being used. Touch together, all the jigs are in one area. There's a struggling that is where poor uniformity does what? Comes in. Okay? So while on this other side, on my left, okay, every part of the equipment is being used. So because here they are comfortable. So they are all going to grow at the same pace. Intensity, those are in a smartphone. When you hold your smartphone like this, you are taking a time to know how you put your bulb. Just take a camera. You face a polite way. As ever, take fleeking. Take fleeking. Camera. Take a camera with bulb way. Just put your camera on the bulb of your smartphone. If it's not blinking, then that is a very good bulb for you to use. Are we together? Are we understanding these things? Just pick your phone, put it, open your camera, and then try as though you're taking a photo of the bulb. So over 142 grams, we want 85 grams. The gram is usually very different. It's about 4 or 5 times more than what you get on day 0, right? So we need to look at flock uniformity. You know, making a sure and goes up as well as that is flock uniformity. Our broiler, Dr. Rogers, they have get our day yesterday. That cookies are in beats. Then around them, it means your bodies are not uniform enough. How to get? Yes, so we need to always find that. So a couple with the at the same rate. It means either feeding system or natural factors such as struggle for the feeding is always coming in and beating your system. In that a couple in a natural fact. That is a fact. It is also in birds. It is also in the rest of the animals. Nature. What we need to make sure is we breed them. And who is that This is a society. Because they will have a lot of options on the bigger bags. Yeah. So, feeding the capacity to make national standards. The two way. Era kwa ina ageno tule nkoko ndo kumanya nkoko z'otwala ndo kumanya lero tute highline brown, okay, which is a breed. They don't put a Roman classic brown, they don't put a Roman classic light. Zino breed we don't wanna kuziteke. Kasoma lo kumanya breed yo tute lero tute isa brown. Make sure you get a winter era kuziro internet. Download the program. Because if you go to Roman classic Chrome, you can just download that data. Then you follow it up. How much light, how much feed the rate of shoot each week. Standard says so easy. They are all over the internet. Please make sure you download them as soon as you get these bites. All together. If you're taking a bite and you know that you take highlight Chrome, go to highlight website. Download their standards, their data, what they have, what should be for you, how much milk should be give you, how much eggs should be give you, how much water, that